Okay. Uh, Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. Last time, when I invited one of my students who cleared TEF to share his experience, I said that one day I would invite VG, but I never imagined it would be. VG has just completed A1 book with us, and without telling anyone, she prepared for the TCF exam. She surprised all of us with an amazing. She's a mother of two. She works, she manages her home, she still studies with full dedication. That's truly inspiring. Thank you, Vijay, for accepting my
Yeah.
invitation. We are excited to hear about your study techniques. By the way,
Yeah.
after she shares her experience, we will open the chat for your questions. Vijay, please go ahead.
Uh, First of all, thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. Uh, so, first, is there any specific question like how I manage? So, first, I would like to say like how I manage the things at home and being a mother of two, and also I work for an organization, but the that organization is just my client. So the parent organization is different. So when it comes to the work, I have to work for both of the organization. So like from 9 to 5 I work for one, and after that for at least for 1.5 hours I work for the parent organization, and then I close off my work. So but later on, that's the point, like I'll again start with my French. I'll study for an hour, and then again I'll wind off and I'll go do some household chores, and like pampering my kids. If suppose they want some support from me, I'll spend some time with my kids, and then I'll just revise the portions that would have been taught in the previous session, and then I'll join the class. So after joining the class, so the initially, like during the summer we started the class, so it was from 9:30 to 10:30. So once after it is ended around like 10:30, so I'll just take a break for half an hour and I'll study for 1.5 hours, sometimes even more than that. And when it comes to my timing, so I'm very comfortable during the night times when compared to the mornings. So I'll study at my night even for 2 hours, 2.5 hours until 12:30 I'll study. So my strategy for that is that first I would say we need to come out of our comfort zone. So when we want to achieve something, so we need to come out of the comfort zone, and we need to start to feel something as very essential, like brushing, eating, and sleeping, so etc. So like that, we need to start feeling French or the education or our goal as essential. So when you start feeling that way, we will somehow adjust the timings and we will make ourselves free, and we can dedicate something for studies. So because this is going to be like for the journey of 15 to 16 months, but if we see something like not, I won't come out of my comfort zone for 15, 16 months, then we are not going to like achieve what we want. So that's the one, that's my first point. Like first you need to come out of the comfort zone, and then second is that we need to be like very determined. I wouldn't say like okay, you need to put more efforts, but when you put more efforts, you need to be very determined. Saying like okay, you may slow down or like you may take a break, but don't give up yourself. So sometimes initial during the initial phase of learning French, sometimes we feel like okay, it is totally alienated and not able to get in touch with French. So that sort of difficulty would be there for everybody, but once everything will comes under practice, so once you keep always like touch base the things on a daily basis, things will come on hold.
Okay, Vijay, I wanted to share my screen
Yeah.
and show your result. Vijay, she has scored C2 in listening. This is incredible. Even I never had students of B1, B2 scoring listening C2. Vijay, can you explain a bit more that how do you
Yeah.
practice listening and being a student of, because we have just started
Yeah.
A2 listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just giving a brief context, so that before coming to ma'am, like I had been with some other institutions as well, and I have been fooled. And finally, like I had come to ma'am, and when ma'am understood, like I was very particular about listening and speaking, you are like advised me to restart my French journey. So that is where the point I realized my level, that I'm not up to the level where I was thinking like I was at. So after I started the French journey with ma'am, so initially, like during the first or second week onwards, like we started to have the listening. So, but that is where the very first time I got some confidence in listening. So before that, what happened was I wasn't able to listen to anything. Like when I start to listen, I have to repeat like 10 times, 15 times, even a simple sentence. So I started to feel like it maybe it could have been a word or two, but by the time they would have completed a sentence. So only then I started to realize that okay, this is like not going to work for me. But when I started with the Sezum book, so that is what the that's where the point that gave me some confidence. So like once you get the confidence, and then you start trying to do more exercises or like practices, so the things will come and hold. So where I started was with the Sezum book. At the same time, I started to listen more into the RFE Francais Fazil. So there you we have lot of exercises for the levels, level by level, like A1, A2, B1, B2 up to C2. We have that. So instead of just getting into the podcast, we can start from level by level. So I completed all the levels for that A1, and I was like almost about to complete A2. So I started to get some confidence in it. But one day if I listen to RFE, and other day I will start to improve my language. Sometimes I used to listen to this Sejong book listening as well, because to get some confidence, because when you listen to something at the and you try to understand it, so that gives you the confidence. So when we directly listen to RFE, I started to feel scared initially, but later on the things come into hold. And RFE's conversations for A1, A2 will last mostly for 1 minute or like 1.5 minute, but they will speak more and they'll speak a lot. But for everything, we have some test to assess, and we have the vocabulary. So, how I work is that once, like 2, 3 times, I repeat the conversation, I'll try to understand by myself. But if I couldn't understand, I'll download the transcript, and transcript I'll run word by word, and then new words I will note down for my future use as well. So all new words I will note down, then again I will listen to that conversation like that. To I started with 2, 3 exercises, but later on, like I started to do almost some 10 exercises per day. But the next day, I'll start to improve my language, because when we don't improve the language, if we keep practicing the audio, we cannot really succeed. So one day, if you improve your language, the next day you can just listen to RFE. They're not just RFEs. In RFEs, we can also we have the TCF practice, because RFE is something, it supports DELF and TCF. So TCF is like more into DELF structure rather than like TEF is quite different. That is in quite little bit different when compared to TCF. So I started to do the TCF exercises as well, but then again I'll get into Sejong book. I will do the listening. And then I started to listen to the bedtime stories. That used to be very important, and it really played a vital role. It started to give me some interest in French listening especially. So bedtime stories, we do have a channel. I have all the links, I can share it a little bit later in the chat. But bedtime stories will really, it will play a vital role for sure. And there is some stories like Petit Poulet, and also like the dolphin and the swan. Some stories will be there. So if you hear that, if we try to summarize it, then it will give you the understanding like of ourselves, like where we are standing. So if we are able to summarize something, even if it is wrong, that is okay, but the points are clear, that's fine. So then with chat GPT, I'll try to correct it. So that's how, because I at a certain point of time I understood reading and writing also improves listening, because when you read aloud and understand, so it helps when the audio is played. Okay, this sort of pronunciation, it will come through the audio. So that really helped. And the second thing, writing is just the flow of thoughts. So when you write, when you try to organize your thoughts, you can speak better. At the same time, you can listen to the audio better. So this really helped me. But this sort of exercise I'll do like 3 or 4 times in a week. So that's how, like, I practiced more. One thing I would like to say, when it comes to listening or any module, but when it comes to listening especially, try to analyze the mistake what we have done. So even if you are practicing 40, 50 exercises and attending the exam but not scoring well, yes, it is expected, because it's not going to help that way. So once, at least for 5 or 6 exercises, you just sit and try to analyze why it is wrong, why this has become right. So why this, why, what is happening in the conversation, so what made you to choose that answer, but what has happened, so what is the right answer, why that particular answer is right. So this sort of analysis really we have to sit and do, otherwise this will never work. Yeah, ma'am.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Now it's time for your questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or write in the chat. Feel free if you have any question. Anyone has question? No? Okay. Vijay, you have started from A1 level, yeah?
Yeah.
I want to know that after the class, how do you study on your own? Do you start with the book? Do you go through the workbook? Do you directly go to RFE? What's your daily plan?
So daily plan is, after the class, I will revise whatever has been taught in the class. Otherwise, the next day I don't. I generally won't feel like I have touch with that, so I'll revise it. But during the morning time, or once I come from office during my in-person days, or like because I go to office 2 days in a week in person. So during those days, my study time will become lesser, but I'll try to compensate on the other days. So after the closure of the work for that particular day, I'll immediately start with RFE. Then after, yeah, yes, please.
Yes, Devanshi, you have a
So you
question.
can complete afterwards I'll ask.
Okay.
Oh,
You
Okay.
can begin.
So, because listening, I used to provide some sort of importance when I feel myself as fresh. So by the time, like, once I close my office, so I'll start to feel, at least I'll have some energy. But after our the regular session is over, I'll get into the portions like what you have taught, like what has been taught in the class. So these things I'll get in touch with. Then after that, I'll get into vocabulary.
okay. Thank you so much. Devanshi, please go ahead.
Yes, what was your strategy for
Mhm.
conjugations? How did you remember the conjugation?
Okay.
And yeah.
Conjugation, you need to do it on a regular basis, like practice. So what I used to do is that there are like three types of verbs. So one will be our regular er verb, and after that it is ir, then after that it comes that re. But um, what happens is that I will take any two verbs from every category and I will try to conjugate it. First I started with only the present conjugation. Then once after the tenses started to come in ma'am's class, I will try to conjugate for each and every tense. So now if I take that, then I will conjugate conjugation because we have to go do only that, but there is no specific strategy for that.
Okay.
Any other questions? So it seems that I have my next invitees for the next session. I have 13 students to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vijay,
Uh,
how many hours per day do you study? Is it like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours?
No, I'll make sure that I study for 3 hours per day. And Friday evening, it will it because for our in my Friday, on my Fridays and Saturdays, we don't have that classes. So on Friday, yeah, it goes from 6 p.m. to my 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. I'll do that. So I'll do the other works in between the study. So it's not like I study in between the other work, because my situation is also like that. Because my work permit is it's going to be expired by the first week of January. So for definitely, I wanted to extend my work permit. Even that is also one of the driving factor that I really made it through. And one thing I wanted to say, like, if you are planning for the exam, say for example, if you are planning for the exam next week, then try to appear for the exam experience, just for getting the exam experience just 1 month before, so that you don't want to take the exam fear until you attend that exam.
Thank you.
And
Jimmy, please go ahead.
Can you please tell us how do you practice your speaking?
Okay. So this speaking is something, okay, I would just like to say that I prepared for both TCF speaking as well as TEF speaking. So the first thing, like the primary, is that whatever the sessions ma'am used to provide, I used to utilize it, because that is the main thing that will give you more experience with speaking. Sometimes, like, if suppose we don't volunteer ourselves, then speaking is going to be the toughest part. And the second is that okay, I have my older son who is 12 years of age. Sometimes I'll just make him sit and I assume like as though I'm teaching him. So I'll just try in French. So that also really worked for me, because when you have someone to listen to you, like, it will work. And I use chat gpt for the same way, in the same way. But the primary thing is that to try to utilize all the sessions that ma'am is providing, because ma'am has like giving the sessions for a monologue interaction, like conveying part, and like in every, like, poser des questions. So for everything, like, ma'am is providing the sessions. So that was what I know, like, even last week we had almost like 4 days speaking session. Like, it went for even 4 days. So try to utilize that. That's the primary thing. I don't do anything specific for speaking, but make sure at least 15 to 20 minutes you are speaking at least to chat gpt or someone else per day.
Anyone else would like to ask a question? Madhav? Yes, Madhav. Madhav, you are mute.
Okay, can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Hey, Vijay, congratulations first in first place.
Thank
Okay,
you so much. Yeah.
just checking because even with the IELTS, like it's not the first attempt that the scores are obtained. The practice is needed, as you have mentioned. So
Mm-hmm.
just checking, what was the attempt that you have given for this? How many attempts have you given for this particular result?
Okay, so I took my actual aim is for November only, but I tried both TCF and TEF once in October. So in TCF, what happened? I failed in speaking, but I cleared listening. But in TEF, that was the opposite. I cleared speaking, but failed in listening. Then, because that was only to get the exam experience, so then I started to get into more exercises. And for the work permit extension, the main part is that listening and speaking. So that were those two modules were my very primary goals. But in order to improve the listening and speaking part, you obviously have to do more reading and writing as well. But as from the exam point of view, I directly went into the exam center and I just tried with reading and writing. I had no option. I couldn't avoid that for TCF. But I would say I'm just wanted to give one more thing for listening. So when you practice and practice, sometimes when you analyze like why it is correct, why it is wrong, at the same time you can also familiarize yourself to the situations, I would say. So when you next time encounter the same, so or like at least some similar set of conversation, you will just definitely your mind, I mean, it will strike the idea, okay, this is what like they discussed, so this is what they did, something like that. So I have some topics for the listening. So generally what they are going to give for listening is that you are going to have something like artificial intelligence, and then you have some health and like promoting the culture, then Jeux Olympic, then statistics on the population, then you do some recycling. So something like this, only repeated topics they are going to ask, but in a different way and with some different questions. So you can familiarize yourself with the topic, situation and everything, and this is for all the modules I'm saying. So once you get the situation and the questions like familiarized, then when you encounter the similar questions, you will get to know like what you have to do. So for your question, Madhav, this is my TCF. This is my third attempt, I would say. So once TCF, then TEF, then again TCF I gave. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Jay, you have a question.
Yeah, so like you gave both of the exams.
Yeah.
So what do you think, which one is better and which one you feel easy?
Okay, that actually depends. I could not opine anything is easy and this is easier than TEF or like something, but that depends. So I would say let's first compare the speaking. So TCF speaking and CHEF speaking. So TCF, you have three parts. So the first part is that so that is also a part, like for 3 minutes you have to speak and you have to introduce yourself. And the second task is that for 5.5 minutes, out of which 2 minutes will go in preparation, they will give you for the preparation time, and then like 3.5 minutes you need to ask questions, so that is 12 questions you need to ask. Then the third task is like a monologue. So monologue is like sharing your opinion on it. So when someone who is interested like in sharing an opinion, I cannot interact much, but I can speak like as a monologue or as a single person I can speak. So for those TCF, I mean TCF would be better. But for someone, even for me, I would say like I prefer interaction more than monologue. So with interaction I feel very comfortable, but not that much with monologue. So I had to prepare something for the monologue. And for monologue there is no preparation at all in the TCF. But if speaking, you have two tasks. So one is that you know very well, one is the pose de question type of one, and then the other one is like convaincre part. So and one is tooth voye, another is vous voye. It is fixed in TEF, but in TCF that was different. So that is kind of mixture. So sometimes you get tooth voye, sometimes you get vous voye. So that's how like uh, t- setting is. So if you are very good in interaction, then you can get into TF. But if you are very good in monologue, you like monologue a lot, then you can prefer TCF. Like that, you can just compare based on the task. But nothing is like easier or difficult like when on comparison. But one thing I can say, TCF reading is doable even when you attempt only in the exam center for the very first time. It is doable.
Okay, thank you.
Nadia, do you have any questions?
Hello,
Nadia,
yes.
yes,
Hey,
please go
hi
ahead.
Nadia.
Hi. I have one question. What was different in the actual exam compared to the practice materials you used?
Okay, for some in the exam, you mean are you specific with any module?
No, no, no. In general.
So, I would say the pattern used to be the same, but the level that could be little bit different in the real exam. And whenever you practice with the deaf listening, in the videos you could see some photographs like or some picture type, but it will not be the similar in the exam. So it would be like some pencil sketch and it won't be clear as well. So some sort of differences like this I had experienced. And so I was under the impression that deaf listening used to be in a quiet zone, say like there will not be any background noise during the conversation. And TCF listening, I had the opposite. That's what I was thinking. So if the conversation is happening in the train station, you will hear the noise of the train. And for the if it is a airport, then like the planes, that sort of noise would be there. But that was quite opposite when I attended the exam. So in TCF I had that quiet atmosphere, but in chef listening there plenty of background noise. So that was one of the thing like I was really surprised.
No, okay. And one more question is, how did you practice for writing?
Okay, for writing, okay, I have that strategy, like the flow of thoughts is mine. So I won't go to chat gpt, I won't take the help of chat gpt for writing itself. So the ideas will be mine and the template will be mine, and I will have some good introduction and the body. So when we get into the body, so at least you need to provide some three good points. So because maximum the writing would be like 150 words or 200 words, and sometimes it would be around 100 words. So we cannot write much, so we need to provide some good points, relevant points to the topic. So like first point, second point, third point, at least some sort of, if you are supporting something, just try to provide one contrary, so one opposite reason. But in the conclusion you can say on the comparison, although it has got some good inconveniences, but there are a lot of advantages. So as I said earlier, I'm preferring I'm actually supporting this concept. But if you are not supporting it, then you just try to list down the first disadvantage, second disadvantage, third disadvantage, but at least one advantage you provide. And after that, in conclusion, you can say like, although there are some advantages, but the disadvantages are overshadowing. So that's why like I said earlier, so this is already justified that I'm not supporting this idea. So that's how. So when you write something, one thing is that flow of thought should be yours, the template should be yours. Chat gpt can only correct, but you cannot ask chat gpt to provide a template, provide some ideas. So like that, if you are doing, you can try to avoid that, and you try to start, you can start to think in your own way, so that your French will also, you can see that you can easily flow in French.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Riji. Thanks a lot.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Vijay, for me, something which is interesting is you have not learned certain grammars. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
grammars of B1, B2. How did you learn those grammars on your own?
Ma'am, first thing I would like to say is that I completed the whole A1 with you, and then like we completed almost 1.5 months of A2. I guess when I gave my exam, it was already some 5 weeks have been done. So by the time you already taught all the tenses, like all the most of the grammars, like COD, COE. So like I mean, before that, even in A1 itself, we covered that E pronoun, noun pronoun, and all. Like, so except for subjunctive, I never faced any difficulties, because only that is going to be there in the B1 as well. I'm not sure about it, but you have already like I learned the things from you already. So by that way, I would say like we covered most. So just for the exam purpose, I learned subjunctive on my own. So that is where the point, like when we try to say our wish on something, when we try to express our doubt on something, and the difference between two subjects. So like when I say like I wanted you to be happy, so that time we would go for subjunctive, because like I is some different subject and you is some different subject. In French, that there is not some concept like there is no concept saying that okay, I wanted you to be happy. So only with the help of subjunctive we can do. So those sort of things I just learned on a high level. And I used in writing, I used that il faut que and il veut mieux que, so that one. And even in speaking I used just one or two subjunctive, but other than that all other tenses and grammar I was quite comfortable. And for the speaking or to that level, for the extension of work permit, because my aim was only CLB 5, but what I attained, yeah, it was something surprising for me as well. So with the grammar and the yeah, with grammar, I would definitely say that we covered most, at least for CLB 5.
So it shows that if you have learned grammar, the basic grammar properly, and if you are
Yeah,
able to use it in the exam,
exam.
it
Yeah.
is very much probable that you score high.
Yeah, and in speaking, if suppose you do some, yeah, and most of us will do definitely. So if suppose we have done some blunders, so if we wanted to like correct it, you can definitely correct in front of the examiner. That will only going to add you the marks, and it's they will not be going to reduce it. But just in case you don't correct it, that is where the point they will come into the assumption that you haven't read it properly. So that's why you haven't learned it properly. So just you be free whenever you commit mistakes. It's okay. You are free to correct it.
And my last question to Vijay. Vijay, I receive a lot of calls, and especially from students in Canada, asking me, ma'am, we are very much in hurry. Can we finish it in 3 months, 6 months? Is it possible?
Uh, so the time actually before I come to you, so sometime at least I would have involved, and after I started I restarted my journey with you. So that was the time actually I realized it. So I definitely feel like if you want to get CLB 7 or something in that short duration, we cannot really do. So but maybe for extending the work permit or something, and if you are really studying a lot like during the weekend, so I for Saturdays and Sundays I used to spend almost the whole day in studying. And then like like I said earlier, Fridays from 6 o'clock to like 1 a.m, sometimes even it will go up to 2 a.m. The next morning I will get up very late, but still I will sit throughout the night. So some sort of extra hours, extra efforts that you may need to put. But one thing I would say, like in the class, whatever is being taught, if you are very thorough with that and you are doing the exercises, because without doing the exercises we cannot we cannot tell ourselves that okay, I'm good in this concept. We cannot say that. So even you can try for some extra exercises, and until something comes into your hold, you have to put a lot of efforts. So in that case I would say like then that 5 to 6 months is going to be terrible. But for CLB 5, if you are someone who is too dedicated and determined towards the goal, you can definitely achieve, but not in 3 or 4 months for sure. So minimum 5 to 6 months, or like I mean 6 months I would say, because even like my efforts are like for the last 6 months.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Thank you so much for joining the session today. A big thank you to Viji for inspiring us with her journey. Wishing you all the best. Keep learning, keep
Yeah,
growing.
yeah, sure,
See
sure.
you in the next session. Ciao.
Thank you very much,
You're
madam, like for
welcome.
this opportunity
No,
to
it's all
speak
your
with
effort.
everybody.
It's
No, like
all.
I would just wanted to say something just for 2 minutes. I hope I will get. So getting a very good teacher like you is really important because before coming to you, I had been with some 2, 3 institutions. Yes, I really got discouraged. I almost learnt another Indian language. That's what I would say, but no, that was not French. So once I restarted my journey with you, like my pronunciation changed. Like I'm still changing it. I'm still working on it. I wouldn't say like it is 100% I'm super now, but yeah, I keep working on it. Something like you are really motivating everyone, and you are keeping the class interactive, and you have that passion to teach French. And also as a teacher, you really do very well. That is one of the another driving force. Otherwise, when we don't have that sort of teacher, it would be very difficult for us to, sometimes it will look like we are learning by ourselves. So that's a sort of discouragement. So many thanks to you. So that's the one big and great decision that I made to restart my French with you. So that is why I am able to score to this extent. That's what I would say. Although I put more efforts, there should be someone to guide properly, and there should be someone to motivate you. So even in the class, if we don't do well, like you are asking like what is the problem that you have with this, so why are you not talking, like that you are like asking with everybody. So that sort of thing I had never seen with people. And when compared to other institutions, like most of the syllabus, like what you have provided us, they used to come only by A2, but it is now almost like in the A2 level, we are just in the mid of A2, but you have delivered more concepts. So and also you are giving us that petit revision for like every day you are giving that petit revision. So that is what really helping. And also as you are keeping the classes interactive, yes, nobody can even sleep for a while. They couldn't go disinterested. So that is the main thing, I would say, definitely. So thanks a lot to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It's all your hard work that encourages me
Thank
every
you
day
so
to
much.
wake up. Thank you so much. Have a good day. And in Canada, sleep
Thanks,
well. Good
everyone.
night.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.